Servers work hard. They also have tails. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Your Server. Our first one is from Schloop Schlope. A man tried to pull on my septum ring. Not even a hello, not a single word, not even a how are you first. I approached them, placed my cutlery down, said my usual, hey guys, how are we doing today? And tried to make eye contact with everyone. My eyes meet this man's, maybe 50 years old. Like slow motion, his grubby man-child fingers start to rise. Towards my nose, in a pinching formation. I didn't realize at first what he was doing, until he had his hand near my chin. I recoiled, unable to hide the utter confusion, disgust, and genuine horror on my face. This man, his eyes locked on mine, asks, "What's that? Something to pull on?" Utter and visceral shock. I work in a sports bar. I've had weird comments, gross stares, and uncomfortably rejected people. Never has a grown man tried to pull on my facial piercings in front of, get this, his wife and children. I had no words that wouldn't have gotten me fired. I turned and walked out back, the pale horror on my face. Coworker asked what happened, and my screaming started, 'cause what else do I do? We all had a solid laugh about it, and I went back out and said something like, anyways, what can I get you? And served them like it never happened. His poor daughter was mortified. Makes me have a crazy theory this wasn't the first time. Edit to add, I see a lot of people commenting on my management team sucking in this situation, which sometimes they do, but I'm fairly certain if I'd gone to them, they'd have kicked him out. I just didn't tell them. I have a good relationship with one, and she actually didn't know it happened until a few months ago, because I just never brought it up. If it happened now, I 100% would not tolerate it. They're actually pretty good for banning people. We have quite the roster of people who are just told, out, when they enter. I can't believe that a grown man would actually do that, but it's probably one of those people that were clearly raised with no boundaries. This next one is by DeloFan. Served a young couple for a few happy hour apps today. They had two 1, maybe 2-year-olds with them. Things were all fine and chill until I noticed the mom was yanking one of the kids' pants up while lying them down in the booth. Sure enough, yep, casually sitting next to them was an open, dirty diaper. I just walked away, giving them the benefit of the doubt that they'd quickly dispose of it. Nope, it stayed right there for the rest of their meal. When they asked, "Can we just pay on here?" pointing at the tablet, I took the tablet and said, "Absolutely, I'll go get your check ready for you and be right back." I wasn't planning on giving it back and letting them pay until they cleaned up the fucking diaper. When I came back to clean up their dishes, I said, "I'll be right back with your check. In the meantime, if you wouldn't mind making sure that," softly gesturing towards the diaper, "makes it into the bathroom trash can? Thanks so much." They seemed taken aback, but agreed. I was back in 2 seconds and the diaper wasn't on the booth seat anymore, but they certainly didn't have time to go to the bathroom, and I honestly thought they just threw it on the floor. Thankfully, they just laid it, open, on top of their stroller. Whatever. At this point, I'll admit, I went a step perhaps too far into petty. I handed her a sanny rag and said, again, as politely as ever, "Would you mind making sure the seat is sanitized for the next guest?" She went off. "You're bringing this up too much. What is your problem? Everybody pees. You're mentioning this too much. I'm sure everyone does it." I couldn't help myself. I know I should de-escalate, yada yada. I said, in my 5 years serving, that is the first time I've ever seen someone do that. Long story short, she yelled about me to my manager. Wanted to not have to pay for her $40 5-course, half-price app meal. My manager said she'd talk to me, but wouldn't be comping anything on the bill. Oh, and the best part? She said to my manager that she wanted to enjoy her meal and leave it there like she should be able to. So she fully planned on leaving it if I didn't make her take it. I asked my manager what the fuck she said to that. Nothing. I kept my fucking mouth shut or I would have lost my job. I've definitely never seen anybody change their kid then leave the diaper wide open, especially around a place where people are having food or drinks. Absolutely disgusting. This next one is from Sonic Drive-In. Officially had one of the wildest experiences in my 4 years of serving last night. Got sat with a 2.5 top, a husband, wife, and their new baby in a stroller. When the hostess came to let me know I got sat, she informed me that the wife at the table called ahead of time to let us know that her husband was going to be very picky and difficult. Before I even got to greet them, they asked to switch tables 2 times for whatever reason. Once they were finally situated, I go to greet them, and the husband let me know immediately that they were ready to order. He proceeds to order around $130 worth of appetizers, entrees, dessert, and gets 3 different drinks for himself, all in one go. His wife, quiet as a mouse, just orders a drink. During his order, he was so aggressive making demands and asking in-depth questions about every single food item he was ordering and modifying it in some way. And every few seconds while he was ordering, he'd bark and remind me that he wanted it. I want it hot, fresh, delicious. I filled a notebook page with this guy's order. He also asked his wife if she wanted a tequila shot, and she shook her head no. He turned to me and said, "Gotta set the mood right, you know? We just had a baby." And smirked and chuckled at me, which I did not acknowledge in any way. They got their drinks, and I was told by my coworker that the wife said she didn't like her drink and wanted to replace it. Their food started coming out while the replacement was being made, and as I was dropping the new drink off, the husband looks at me and says, "Yeah, we got a big problem. I don't like any of this." I apologized and said I would be right back with my manager. I immediately went to go grab my manager and tell him what happened, and as we are walking back to the table, they are gone. They left without paying their bill. We had to just comp the whole thing, but it was absolutely bananas. I've had tables leave without paying their tab, but it's never been intentional. Absolutely wild, man. I feel like there should be some way to at least trace these people, because if they called beforehand, maybe they can track the phone number that the people called from and then get them to pay their bill. But it's absolutely ridiculous that people really think they can go into a place and just dine and dash. Fucking thieves. And our final one is by It's Mount Everest. I bartend at night at a chain restaurant. Our morning bartender is my arch nemesis. He's the worst. Doesn't clean up after himself, leaves broken glass laying around. The whole bar is sticky because he doesn't get a towel for the sani bucket most of the time. If he spills something, he leaves it for someone else. Doesn't restock anything. Doesn't know the measurements for our prep, even though he's worked there for 2 years? Super lazy. Pawns all his tables off on others by 3:30 so he can leave right at 4 when I get there. Yesterday, morning bartender just had one guy at the bar. No tables otherwise. The man had already ordered and was just waiting on his food, and already had 2 drinks. My manager was counting down morning bartender's drawer when he turns to me and says, "Does she know I'm transferring him to her?" I stopped taking his tables when he asked to transfer them to me, so he stopped asking. Now he just leaves. I didn't figure I'd be taking that guy at the bar since his food was almost out, but morning bartender is always in a rush out the door. I took over, got the guy his food, and the only thing I got for him the rest of the time he was there was 1 single shot of tequila. That's it. Dude left a $200 tip. Morning bartender won't see a penny of it. Before I get anyone saying, "You don't know what he has going on outside of work, maybe he's in a rush for a good reason." He's not. I know exactly what he has going on outside of work. All he does is share his business, and it's fucking girls 20 years younger than him and going to the studio to work on his rap career. He's 40. You know, it amazes me that this person even has the capacity to try to even begin a rap career, considering they can't even finish their fucking shift proper. I don't see them being a superstar in the future. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Your Server. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.